Hello everyone, welcome to the class. So today we will discuss questions asked in NMAT 2025 and we'll be covering critical reasoning. Okay, so critical reasoning questions we'll cover. Now, if you are solving your critical reasoning practice course, you will realize that pretty much similar questions are there. Okay, so you would not have found these questions very difficult, right? So let's begin with our class. So this is your first question. Now, try to solve this question and then we'll discuss the answer. Okay. So this is an inference based question. And I would like to repeat, such questions are there in our critical reasoning test. So you can try that as well. If you are facing difficulty in these questions and if you have time for your exam, practice from that and then try to solve these again. Okay. Okay, let's discuss them. Several travelers complain about the bland food provided to them on airlines. So now there is a complaint from travelers that whatever food they are being provided, it is bland. Okay. Actually, airline food tastes bland due to combination of low humidity and low cabin pressure at cruising altitude. Now, if you have traveled by air and if you have had food there, you would have also realized that food does not taste very spicy or, it does not taste very good. So it almost tastes bland. So the reasoning which is given here is that airline food tastes bland due to combination of low humidity and low cabin pressure. Because we are at such a high altitude that there is low cabin pressure and low humidity, which suppresses the senses of taste and smell. So because of which our senses of taste and smell are suppressed. Now we also face like pain in the ears, right? So these kind of things happen. The dry air hydrates your nasal passages, and the reduced pressures make you less sensitive to salt and sweet flavors. So, because we are at such a high altitude, pressure is low, humidity is low. So, that is why the food that is provided to us in flights, it tastes bland. This is what the question is given to us. This is what the information is given to us. Now, what can we infer from it? Now, we have done in the class that what is the difference between inference and conclusion. Inference is the milestones which we achieve to reach to the conclusion. So conclusion is your ultimate destination. To form a conclusion, you draw certain inferences in between. Okay, so this is what inference is. Now we have to infer like what most can be in what most reasonably can be inferred from the information that is given to us. Okay, so whatever the information given to us is bland food, passengers complaining, reason for the food being bland. Okay, these things. Now option A tells you the complaint about airline food arise mainly from passengers preconceived expectations rather than actual taste experience. Now see, information is given to us that food is bland, reasoning is given to us. Okay, they are very silent on the fact whether the like complaint is because of the preconceived expectation or not. Okay, so it's just a statement that food is bland and why actually what is the actual reasoning behind food being bland. So we are going to eliminate this option because our paragraph is silent on this one. Next, if airlines were to serve spicier food, passengers would stop complaining about its blandness. Now again, reasoning. What is the reasoning given? That we are at such a high altitude. So because of certain situation, because of the environment there, our senses are like we cannot taste or smell properly. Okay. So again, this also cannot be inferred because obviously they are not saying spicier food. Nowhere has been mentioned about spicier food. So you are not going to mark any option that has any extra information. Whether passengers would stop complaining or not. Passengers are currently complaining. Okay, we are not talking about future. Next, airlines intentionally reduce humidity and cabin pressure to save cost on food preparation. Now, this is very vague option and very absurd. They are not intentionally reducing humidity. You are at such a high altitude. That is why there is reduced humidity and low cabin pressure. Okay, so this is also eliminated. Now let's talk about option D. Passengers' ability to perceive sour and bitter tastes is also reduced during flight. Now, what we are talking, we are saying that sense of taste and smell. Okay, so it's just in general, taste and smell is being reduced. Okay, let's talk about option C. Passengers who consume the same meal on the ground are likely to find it flavorful when they eat it in flight. Now consider these two options. Information is given to you that some travelers they complain about bland food served to them on airline. Reason is given, airline food tastes bland due to combination of low humidity and low cabin pressure at cruising altitude. It suppresses the sense of taste and smell because you are at a high altitude, you are at such a cruising altitude, your sense of taste and smell is suppressed. The dry air dehydrates your nasal passage and reduced pressure makes you less sensitive to salt and sweet flavor. So less sensitive to salt and sweet flavor is there. So you don't have to specify the flavor. See, your option should never be too general or too specific. Okay? Now, if you are talking about option D, this is very specific that ability to perceive sour and bitter taste is also reduced during flight. They are not talking about, they're in general, they have said sense of taste and smell is reduced. Okay. So information is giving about what is happening at high altitude and reasoning is given. So what can we infer? Can't we not infer that passengers, if they consume same meal on the ground, they are likely to find it more flavorful when they eat it in flight? Because this option is like very certain, also reduced. Okay, and then they are just simply saying less sensitive to salt and sweet flavor, and in general sense of taste and smell is suppressed. So if sense of taste and smell is suppressed because of certain factors, if we remove these factors, if we are having that particular food on ground where there is like more humidity, where there is no cabin pressure. Okay, so like obviously like this thing we can infer that food whatever we are having at high altitude, if we have it on the ground, it will taste different, it will be more flavorful, because like the reason for food not tasting flavorful is because of the like those certain factors. Am I clear here? So that is why we'll eliminate D and E would be our correct inference. Is this particular question clear? First of all, let me know this. If there is any doubt, please, I'll address that. Okay. So let's proceed towards the next question. Now I'll start reading this. During his summer vacation, Ajay plans to learn a new language as a hobby. Now there is this person Ajay. He wants to learn a new language as a hobby. Okay. He has the option to choose between language A and language B. Now there are two languages given, language A and language B. Language A, this language is easy to learn and even his sibling speaks it. So language A easy to learn and he has a partner. Means his sibling is also speaking the same language. Language B, while more challenging to master, now language B is difficult. Okay. But it has potential to provide numerous professional advantages in the future. So we have given like two sets of information about language A and language B. Language A is easy and the sibling also speaks it. Language B is difficult, but it has numerous professional advantages in future. Okay. Considering these factors, which of the following arguments would persuade Ajay to select language A over language B? Very interesting question. Now we have to find that particular argument that is going to persuade Ajay to choose language A over language B. Let's see. Argument 1 says he is learning the language solely as a hobby and is not considering it for serious purpose. Okay. Second one says only 1/3 of the learners can pass the elementary test in language B. Ajay will also struggle to clear the elementary test. Third says it will be comparatively easy for him to master language A since he can practice speaking it with his sibling. Next says language B may not offer as many career opportunities in the future. Now, I hope you have practiced these questions, okay? They are like everywhere. We have discussed them in class. We have them in like our test everywhere. So I have also told you that whenever you are choosing arguments, strong argument, okay, for that matter, so it's not yes or no, it's the reasoning. So you have to look at the reasoning of these four arguments. Now, once you look at them closely, you will realize that some reasoning are vague. Okay, some reasoning to some argument is vague. How? First says he is learning the language solely as a hobby and is not considering it for serious purpose. Now, this is clearly mentioned that Ajay plans to learn new language as a hobby. Okay, now he has option to choose between A and B. So if I want to persuade him to choose a language, if I want to persuade him to choose language A over B, I will simply say you want to learn language as a hobby, and right now you are not considering as a considering it for serious purpose, right? So if you want to learn something new as a hobby, might as well go with language A. Second says only 1/3 of learners can pass the elementary test in language B. Has this particular information been given to us in the paragraph? How many learners are able to pass this language? No. So that is why we cannot choose this argument. Extra information. Okay. If we look at next argument, third says it will be comparatively easier for him to master language A since he can practice speaking it with his sibling as well. Yes. First of all, like easy language. Okay. Second of all, siblings also speak this language. So they both can practice it. So this is also an argument that I can give to persuade him to choose language A over B. Okay. Fourth argument says language B may not offer as many career opportunities in the future. Here, it has clearly this paragraph has clearly mentioned this that language B is more challenging to master, but it has potential to provide numerous professional advantages in future. So giving an argument that this will not provide you opportunities is vague because it is providing opportunity. It is a fact that is given to us. Is this clear? So that is why we'll eliminate or argument 4. So which are those two arguments which we are going to give to Ajay? It will be argument 1 and 3 that makes it option B. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to next question. Now again, just now I explained to you that when you are choosing strong argument, you have to look beyond yes or no. Okay. And there are like various inclination of a particular argument. It could be negatively inclined, positively inclined, or neutral. Okay. Like for example, ban plastic. Okay. So most of the people are yes. It's positively inclined. Yes, ban plastic. So we also need to look at the reasoning. Why do we want to ban it? Shall I start reading this? Okay, so now there is a country, that is country X. This country is rich in flora and fauna, and it is considered one of the most beautiful places in the world. Okay. However, its economy has been struggling in recent times due to recession. Now there is recession, and because of which the economy is struggling. Now this country is rich in flora and fauna, considered one of the most beautiful places on earth or in the world. To address this, to address what? To address the economic struggle in the that is happening in the country, the government is considering transforming some of its scenic destinations into tourist attraction, because they have such large flora and fauna. So they are planning that they'll just transform some scenic destination into tourist attraction, intending to generate revenue and improve country's economic condition. Okay. Intention is to generate revenue and improve economic condition. Should the government proceed with this plan? Now, this particular paragraph is this particular paragraph is neutrally inclined, means it has neutral inclination. Argument could be yes also, it could be no also. Okay, but while we are choosing arguments, we have to look beyond yes or no. So we'll read the arguments properly and we'll understand the reasoning. Argument one says yes, means they should go ahead with this. They should turn some scenic destinations into tourist spot, because turning these destinations into tourist spot will attract more foreigner visitors, leading to an economic boost. This is a valid argument, that if they turn these destinations into tourist spot, more foreigners will be attracted, many visitors will be attracted, and obviously it will lead to economic boost, right? Second argument says no, because it will negatively impact the environment, as heavy tourism may result in population migration and high influx of visitors, which could harm the country's flora and fauna. Now, for this argument, think about hill stations of India. Okay. Now, there was a time when hills were considered very peaceful. Okay. There were less landslides. Now, if you look every year, if you are aware of, if you are well aware of it, every year there is landslide, there is cloud burst. Okay. So these kind of situations are happening very frequently. What could be the reason? Tourist attraction is there. A lot of people are visiting that place. A lot of vehicles are going there. Okay. Earlier, it was not the case. And construction is also going on. So if they want to convert this some scenic destination into tourist attraction, then definitely they'll have to do some construction as well, right? So obviously this situation can also be there. If there would be population migration, high influx of visitors, and definitely country's flora and fauna would be harmed, right? Which could harm the country's flora and fauna. They're not saying certainly it will harm, but it could harm. So this argument is also valid. Again, may result. So see, if you want to look for balanced argument, look for words like may, could. Okay, don't go for extreme words like where they're showing certainty. Okay. Next argument says, no, there are other ways to improve country's economy without relying on tourism. There is recession going on. So they have to rely on tourism. Okay. So vague argument. Fourth one says, yes, tourism helped boost economy of neighboring country Y last year, which was also facing a recession. Now we are talking about country X. Country Y becomes an extra information for us. So we are not going to mark any option that has extra information. So ruling this out, which is the correct answer? Option C, that argument 1 and 2 are strong. Is this clear? Did you get this one correct? And if there is any doubt, let me know. Okay. Next question. Try solving this one. I think you should get correct answer for this as well. This one is not very lengthy, so you can solve it. Now, this question is course of action based. Okay, one of, I would say, very one of the easy topics. Okay, because if you have understood the information properly, you can figure out the course of action. Nice. Okay, let's read this. Public library located in the heart of city. There's a public library in the heart of city. It attracts a large number of visitors every day. Obviously, it is a library. People would come there to study. Many people spend long hours there, with some occupying the desk continuously for 7 to 8 hours. So it's a long period of time. Okay, people are coming there, occupying desk for 7 to 8 hours. Library also has a lobby area with bean bags meant for leisure reading. But most visitors prefer using the desks as the lobby often becomes noisy. The visitors frequently visit a cafe nearby and bring coffee or tea to their desks. This has resulted in noticeable stains and damage to the furniture due to frequent spills. Okay. As the manager of the library, what course of action would you recommend to effectively address this issue? Now, similar kind of question is there in critical reasoning test. Why am I repeating it again and again? So that if you have not solved it, please solve it, because these kind of questions are there. Okay, so if you are finding something new, if you are struggling to figure out the correct answer, I would highly recommend you to solve that. Okay, you guys have access to it. Now, see, whenever we are solving a course of action based question, we have to figure out the problem first. Okay, so course of action is next course of action which we can use, which we can take to at least either solve the problem or take a step towards resolution. Okay, now What is the problem here? What is the main problem? Main problem is that people are taking their coffee to the desks, and due to which there are stains and furniture is getting damaged. Okay, so this is what the problem is. Now, suppose you are the manager of the library. What course of action would you recommend to effectively address this issue? So you have to address this issue. Okay, information is given very clear. They have mentioned that there's public library. They have mentioned that there are desks. People occupy desks for 7 to 8 hours. There is a cafe nearby. People visit cafe. They bring coffee. There is a lobby area with bean bags that is meant for leisure reading. But lobby area has noise, so people do not go there. Okay. Now, option A says restrict the study time in library to 2 hours, as this would discourage visitors from taking beverage break. Now, see, problem is not about the study time. Problem is not that people are using, occupying desks for longer. The problem is that people are spilling beverages there. So this would discourage visitors from taking beverage break is very vague argument. So this is a very vague course of action, first of all. Next, provide leak-proof thermosteel flasks to visitors and mandate their use inside the library. Okay, what is, it's not about from which utensil they are spilling, they're just simply spilling. If it is leak proof thermo flask, maybe they're opening the flask and then something spills. So this is not a solution. C says request the nearby cafe not to offer takeaway beverages to the library visitors. This is not possible. That cafe owner or the person who is serving the beverage is not going to ask every single person, are you going to the library, are you going to the library? So course of action has to be practical, feasible, and logical. If your course of action is falling in all three, like if it is ticking all three check boxes, then it is a correct course of action. Next one says restrict the consumption of beverage to the lobby area only. Lobby area has bean bags. Okay, and because furniture is being damaged. Okay, so you can restrict, like this is one thing that can be done, that if you are taking beverages, you can be restricted to the lobby area. Don't go beyond lobby area with the beverages. Don't go inside the library with the beverages. Okay. Next, impose heavy penalties on visitors found consuming beverage inside the library. It cannot be possible. You cannot monitor every single person. Okay, because it is a public library and it might be a very, very big one. Because the person cannot just keep on, looking for people who are consuming beverage there. So this course of action is not, cannot follow. This course of action cannot follow. Obviously, we cannot restrict cafe not to not to offer takeaway beverages. We cannot impose heavy penalties. What we can do, we can restrict the consumption of beverage to the lobby area. This is also an area you can sit there, you can relax there. Even if it becomes noisy, you can still have your beverage and then you can enter the library. This is one thing that you can do. Okay, so course of action, it is logical, it is practical, it is feasible. All it is following in all three areas. Okay. Next question. Now, this is a conclusion based question. Okay, I'll start discussing this. Nice. Yes, correct. Now, this is cognitive behavioral therapy. So, by reading this cognitive behavioral therapy, I have figured out this paragraph is about psychology. Okay. This therapy is known as CBT as well. Okay. CBT. It has emerged as a prominent treatment approach for depression and anxiety disorders. So, two kind of disorders are given here for which CBT is used. It is depression and anxiety disorder. By focusing on identifying and modifying negative, what happens is, okay, you identify your negative thought patterns and behavior and you modify those. This is what CBT is. They teach you to identify your behavior. If it is negative, try to change it into positive. Okay. CBT empowers individual to develop healthier coping mechanisms and improve their overall well-being. Okay. This therapeutic approach emphasizes the connection between thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, enabling individual to challenge and replace unhelpful thinking pattern with more positive and realistic perspective. So CBT helps you to analyze your thoughts and change your patterns. Okay, change your thinking pattern. If you are thinking way too negatively with CBT, you might, come in between, like somewhere in the, like you might become neutral, not too positive, but yes, neutral. Okay. Now, information we have seen, we have to find which could be the conclusion for this, which conclusion we can draw from this. Okay, CBT is given, treatment for what it is given, what happens in CBT, it is given, what happens to the person who's taking CBT, that is also mentioned. Okay, now option A says CBT is effective for all mental health disorders. Here we are only given two. First one is depression, second one is anxiety. So no, this cannot be the conclusion, extra information. Okay. B says CBT requires medication in conjunction with therapy. No medication has been mentioned here, so we will eliminate this as well. CBT aims to change negative thought pattern and behavior. This we can conclude from the information. What is happening here? CBT empowers individual to develop healthier coping mechanism and improve their overall well-being. This approach emphasizes the connection between thoughts, emotions, and behavior, enabling individuals to challenge and replace unhelpful thinking patterns with more positive and realistic perspective. This is what is happening. D says CBT is solely focused on past traumatic experiences, not given. So eliminating it. E says CBT is short-term therapy with limited long-term benefit. This information is also not given to us in the paragraph, so we will eliminate this option as well. We cannot conclude something which is not given to us. Okay, so the correct answer would be option C. Conclusion will always come from the information that is given to you. No extra information can be added in your conclusion. All right. Next question. Now, this one is assumption based. I will give you a small tip. Whenever you are solving any question based on assumption, think from the perspective of the author. Or in this case, think from the perspective of city council, what they are assuming. Very nice. Good one. Now, a city council is considering the construction of a new sports stadium. Arguing, now what city council is arguing? They're arguing that it will stimulate local economic growth by creating jobs and attracting tourists. They're arguing this, that we want to construct a new sports stadium because it will stimulate local economic growth, it will create jobs and attract some tourists as well. Proponents believe the stadium will revitalize the area, increasing spending and ultimately benefit the local community. If there is anything new, if there is a new stadium, definitely there would be some amenities as well. People would come to enjoy the amenities and they'll have to pay for it. So it will boost economy as well. Okay. Which of the following assumption does the argument make? Now, why, like, what is the assumption behind this entire argument? Option A says the construction and operation of the new stadium will create jobs for the local population. Now, here we are talking about local population, okay? B says local economy is currently in recession, so adding a sports stadium is necessary to stimulate growth. Now, whether local economy is currently at a recession or not, we are not given this information, so we will not mark this as our assumption. The question is assumption, but we cannot assume anything that is not given to us. Okay, so no. New stadium will not harm existing local business. Again, paragraph is silent about local businesses, so we cannot mark any answer related to that. D says residents will have more disposable income and spend more money after the stadium is built. Whether residents will have more disposable income or not, again, not clear. So we will rule this out. Not given to us in the question. Construction of the stadium will be primary factor contributing to economic growth. Primary factor. Maybe there are other things already working well for them, but they want to stimulate local economic growth. Right? So we are going to rule this out as well. Correct answer becomes option A. That why city council is considering a construction of this new stadium, because they assume that once the stadium is constructed, so construction will give create jobs for many other people, and operation of the stadium will create jobs for other people from the local population, right? So everybody will have some job at hand. So that is why construction and operation. So construction is one part, operation is after the construction. So construction and operation of the new stadium will create jobs for local population. Okay, so this was the assumption behind it. Next. Now mark the answer very carefully. This is about weakening the claim. Okay. You have to mark the option that weakens the claim of the author or speaker of this statement, this paragraph. Chalo, let's try to solve this, okay? Those who have completed reading this, try to mark the answer. I'll wait. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Sports betting company. There's a sports betting company which argues in court that its operation are similar to those of stock market. So they're saying we are sports betting company, but our operations are similar to the stock market. Okay, like sports betting, stock market is also unpredictable even for experts. You cannot figure out what is going to happen in stock market. Similar to this, our sports betting is. Nobody can figure out what is happening. So we are similar to the stock market. Okay. This often results in many investors losing money. Sports betting, there are many apps for this now, they have been banned. Therefore, the company contends that sports betting should also be legalized in the country. Like stock market has been legalized, so they are saying sports betting should also be legalized. Okay. What information is given to us? They are talking about sports betting company being similar to stock market, because like stock market, sports in sports betting also you cannot figure out the whosoever is going to win. No. Okay. So which of the argument would weaken this claim that they should be legalized? First one says stock market investors consistently earn substantial profits over time. Now, okay, whatever information is given to us, that only we will use. Has this paragraph anywhere mentioned about stock market investors earning substantial profit over time? Profit is not mentioned, so we will rule this out. And also, even if you say that it earns substantial profit over time, so but what is happening? They are talking about stock market investors. They want to legalize their sports betting. So even if you say stock market investors are earning substantial profit over time, what about this sports betting company? So this will not weaken the claim. Okay. Next one, while fewer people are familiar with the stock market, large number of people are interested in sports. Again, no. They are saying they want to be legalized. Like stock market is legalized, they want these sports betting company want to be legalized. Okay. So again, we cannot like this argument will also not weaken the claim that legalize us. While few people are familiar with the stock market, large people are interested in sports. So how does that what? Next, sports betting companies frequently use aggressive marketing tactics that target vulnerable population. So it is marketing tactics. Okay. So what is the argument here? That they are saying this often results in investor losing money. Stock market investors. Stock market is also unpredictable even for experts. This often results in many investors losing money. So if we contradict with the claim that stock market investors consistently earn substantial profit also, this will not, make this particular sports betting company not being legalized. Not being, yes, we have to weaken the claim. We have to say that do not legalize them, or why they should not be legalized, or thing like that. Now, again, fewer people are familiar with stock market, large number of people are interested in sport. This will also not weaken the claim. Okay, so they are saying we are sports betting company, we are similar to stock market. So we have to find the one which says you are not similar to stock market. Here they are saying stock market consistently earns substantial profit. Maybe sports betting also some people earn profit. Okay, stock market few people are familiar with, large people are interested in sport. Okay, we can say similar. Next says sports betting companies frequently use aggressive marketing tactics targeting vulnerable population. So it is just marketing. Okay. D says regulatory body exists in country to oversee stock market operation. And E says stock market investments are less addictive than sports betting. Now, out of these three options, which of the following option you can say that it creates a difference between these two? It creates a difference between sports betting company and stock market. They are saying that we are similar to stock market. We have to find the one that says, no, you are not similar to stock market. Even if you are using aggressive marketing tactics, stock market also uses marketing tactics. Stock market investments are less addictive than sports betting. Some people are addicted to stock market as well. Yes. Now you understood? Which of the following options distinguishes between these two? Option D. Option D says regulatory body exists in the country to oversee stock market operation. You do not have any regulatory body who is overseeing your operations. You are sports betting company and you are you cannot be legalized because nobody is looking after your operations, right? Nobody is overseeing your operation, but stock market operations are being overseen. Understood? So what was the argument? Argument was that they want themselves to be legalized because they are saying, they are claiming that they are similar. So we had to find the one that weakened their claim that no, you are not similar. You are different. You are more like a gamble. Stock market is not gamble. Is this clear now? So this is how you have to understand the question. In weakening of an argument, sometimes we get lost because obviously we have, we've been strengthening arguments. So when we have to look for the claim that weakens it, we have to first understand what the claim is. Okay. Now, if you read after therefore, so after therefore is more like conclusion that the company contends that sports betting should also be legalized in the country. But okay, it should be legalized, but their argument, the entire argument is that they both are same. So that's why they should be legalized. All right. Next question. If there is any doubt in any question, just stop me. I will explain it. Okay. Just do not hold your doubts with yourselves because now exam is approaching. So make sure to clear all your doubts. Even if there is any concept you are finding difficult, not able to understand, just let me know. Acha, or one more thing, inference, assumption. These two type of questions are like where nothing is given in the question. Means if you are asked to infer something, if you are asked to assume something from the given paragraph, you have to mark the option which does not restate something that is already mentioned in your question. This is one thing that you can keep in mind whenever you are solving assumption or inference based question. So any option that has any information that is already given to you in the paragraph, eliminate that. Okay. So with this, I'll start reading this. If you have like read it and solved it, please share your answers. A tech company. Now there's a tech company. It has launched a new tablet designed specifically for artists. Now they have kept in mind artists only. Okay. With enhanced stylus sensitivity, high resolution displays, and a suite of professional grade creative software. The company believes that the tablet will appeal to both professional and amateur artists looking for a versatile portable device for digital art creation. So they are repeating one thing: artist, art creation, artist, okay, amateur, professional grade artist. Okay. Early reviews have praised the tablet's impressive performance and the quality of its drawing feature. Reviews are also praising drawing feature. Okay. Which of the following most reasonably be inferred from the statements above? Artist, 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 drawing features. What can we infer? Option A says, tablet has been tested by professional artists before its launch to ensure its suitability for creative work. This particular information is not mentioned. Whether they have, whether this particular tablet has been tested by professional artists before its launch, it is not mentioned. They have just mentioned about launched. It has been already launched. So what happened before launch? Not concerned because it is not given. So we will rule this out. Next one says, tablet may be too specialized for general consumers, possibly limiting its broader market appeal. Who are general consumers? People who are not artists, right? So if they are focusing entirely on artist, so there are chances that for general consumers who are not artists, like tablet might be too specialized. General people might not be able to use that particular thing fully. Okay. C says, company's marketing strategy primarily targets professional artists rather than casual or amateur creators. They have mentioned professional as well as amateur artists. So it is not only targeting professional artists, they are targeting artists in general. Okay? So this we can eliminate. D says, the high praise of tablets drawing features suggest that the device will appeal to gamers as well as artists. Gamers is not mentioned. This word is nowhere mentioned in the paragraph, so we cannot infer this extra information. E says positive early reviews of the tablet suggest that it will quickly dominate the general tech market. General tech market, and it will quickly dominate. This is extreme option. Extreme word is being used, will. Nowhere they have been very sure about dominating the general tech market. So no. Correct answer would be option B, that the tablet that has been launched, it will be too specialized for general consumers, so it will limit the broader market appeal. Understood? Next. Last question. Let's just solve this one first because some people might be reading it, and then I'll repeat the last question again. Okay, very nice. Now, recent report on agricultural trends highlight the growing popularity of organic farming practices. Now, there is a agriculture trend recently. People are more inclined towards organic farming, citing their benefits for both the environment and public health. Okay. Organic farming is said to reduce pesticide use, improve soil quality, and promote biodiversity. So that's why many people are getting inclined towards it. Consumers are increasingly seeking organic products due to concerns about chemical residue in conventionally grown products and environmental impact of industrial farming. So many people are going after organic farming and organically produced goods. So what can we infer from this? We have all the information. What can we infer from the information? Option A says organic farming is more profitable venture than conventional farming. Profit is not mentioned anywhere. They are simply saying organic farming is environment like healthy for environment. It promotes biodiversity, and it like there is reduced pesticide use and improved soil quality, right? So not no discussion about profitability has been there. Second says all consumers prefer organic products over conventionally grown ones. Consumers are increasingly seeking organic products, but all consumers prefer organic products. Extreme. So we will rule this out. Okay. Long-term effect of organic farming on crop yield are still uncertain. Long-term effect on crop yield, not mentioned. So ruling it out. D says government policies and subsidies can significantly influence the adoption. Government policies, subsidies, not mentioned. We cannot infer it because it is not mentioned. E says consumers are becoming more aware of environmental and health implication of food production. Why? Because consumers are increasingly seeking organic products due to concerns about chemical residues in conventionally grown product and due to the environmental impact of industrial farming. So what is happening here? They are becoming more aware of the environmental and health implication of food production. So this we can infer, it is given to us. Is this clear? So now I will go back to previous question because I have been asked to. So let's read this question again. So this question was that a tech company has launched a new tablet which was specifically designed for artists. Okay, now it has features like enhanced stylus sensitivity, high resolution display, and suite of professional grade creative software. Now, what is the company's belief? That it will appeal to both professional and amateur artists looking for versatile portable device for digital art creation. Now, early reviews about these tablets are about impressive performance and quality of its drawing features. Now, what we can infer about this. Okay, so professional and amateur artist, digital art creation. So all this, what we can infer, that this tablet is too specialized for general consumers, possibly limiting its broader market appeal because they are targeting only artists. Okay, and high praise for the tablets. Drawing features suggest the device will appeal to gamers as well as artists. This tablet is only designed for artists, whether professional or amateur. So that's why we have marked this option, that we can infer from this that this is not for general consumers. This is for basically for artists. Is this like now have you understood? Okay. So I'll proceed now. Next question. Very nice. Now, okay, so I'll start reading this. school has made wearing uniforms compulsory for all students. So there is uniform compulsion in every school, okay, in India at least. So it is compulsory for every person to wear a uniform. Now, assumption behind this particular thing, one says uniform will improve academic performance of the students. See, this assumption, academic performance, is vague because academic performance has many other factors rather than wearing uniform. If statement was more about class performance, test performance, then we have discussed about academic performance. It is general discipline, basically wearing uniform. Second says students from different socio-economic background cannot be easily identified in uniform. This assumption is correct that people come from various socio-economic background. So if you have a uniform, then they might not be easily identified. Okay. Third says uniform will help to promote more professional and formal atmosphere in school. Yes, you are wearing a tie, you are wearing proper, shoes, socks, and everything is checked, right? So this helps to promote a professional and formal atmosphere within the school. So this also is implicit. Which one is not implicit? Assumption 1. So correct answer would be option D. Any difficulty in this one? Shall I proceed further? Okay, I will. Next one. So I'll also give you a some tip. Okay, just don't read this paragraph, whatever is given to you. Just read the question that is there. Which of the following must be true for this conclusion to be properly drawn? Even if you do not read the paragraph, just read the options. Without even reading the paragraph, just read the options and tell me which option do you think should be the correct one. This is a trick. If you are running out of time, sometimes you can solve such questions with this trick as well. Just read the options, and by reading the option, just tell me which option do you think will fit in this. Yes. Why? Because all the other options are extreme. I just read the options, all the other options are extreme. Only one option is not extreme. So if you are running out of time, but you just browse through this paragraph and you browse through the options, sometimes you might be able to figure out the answer. It's not that difficult. Now you can read the paragraph. Okay, let's read this. A software company has released a new software update that incorporates enhanced security features to safeguard user data. So there is a software update which incorporates enhanced security feature. Okay. Update aims to address growing concern about data breaches and restore user trust in companies' commitment to data protection. There might have been concerns about data breach. So that is why company came up with this new software update. By bolstering its security measures, the company seeks to maintain customer loyalty and prevent sensitive information from falling into unauthorized hands. Okay. Now, what must be true for these conclusion to be drawn? What must be true? Okay, so conclusion is that yes, by bolstering all this, company seeks to maintain loyalty and this. Let's see. What must be true for all this? Option A says the enhanced security features and designs are designed to address concerns about data breaches. This is the information. B says software update will completely eliminate the risk of data breach. Extreme. They are not saying that this software update will completely eliminate. Software update is there to address, aims to address, moreover, aims to address the growing concern about data breaches. So not completely eliminate. C says user trust in company will automatically be restored upon the release of update. Will automatically. They are saying aims to address growing concern about data breach and aims to restore the trust. Okay, so it will not automatically be restored. D says software update will have no impact on the company's reputation. They will have no impact. At least it will have some impact. People might actually start liking the company that this is addressing the issue. So ruling this out. Software update will increase company's operation cost. Operation cost, first of all, not mentioned. Second, extreme. Will increase. How are you so sure that it will increase it? So again, eliminated. So all the other options are eliminated because all the other options are extreme. So which one is the correct answer? Option A. If you are running out of time, if you have like some, few seconds left or things like that, you can just read the option and mark the answer. If you are running out of time, don't pull off this stunt in every question, okay? Sometimes extreme information might be there in the question. Okay, let's do this. The increasing use of artificial intelligence in various industries has led to concerns about job displacement and economic inequality. AI-powered automation can perform tasks more efficiently and accurately than humans, potentially leading to job losses in many sectors. Now, what course of action can be taken to prevent this, okay, or improve the situation? First one says government should invest in education and training programs to equip the workforce with skills needed to thrive in an AI-driven economy. Now, since we know that artificial intelligence, is like being very commonly used in industries, so this thing government can do. Government can invest in education and training programs so that people are equipped with such skills which are needed to thrive in AI driven economy. This can be done, logical, practical, feasible, right? So this course of action follows. Second says companies should be mandated to provide retraining and reskilling opportunities to employees whose jobs are affected by automation. Now, this thing also can be done. If there are some employees whose jobs are affected by automation, company can provide them retraining and reskilling opportunities. They are not forcing them to just, but they are saying provide them opportunities. Anybody who would want to do it, they will do it. At least they will have the opportunity rather than being logical, practical, feasible. This can be done. Next one says a universal basic income should be implemented to provide financial security to those who lose their job due to automation. See, providing them basic income if they are losing job due to automation. This is not logical. This is not practical. Feasible? No, I don't think so. Because see, they are not talking about reskilling them. They have lost their job due to automation. You are providing them basic income. Okay. You are not reskilling them. You are not training them. How are they going to survive? So this is not a logical course of action. So again, ruling this out. So which is the correct answer here? First and second is the logical course of action. If some people are being affected by automation, we can just reskill them and we at least give them the opportunity to retrain and reskill so that they can be ready for some AI-driven economy. Understood? Is this clear? Why have we marked course of action second as well? Good. Next question. Now again, this is weakening the argument. Let's see. There is increasing concern about the impact of fast food consumption on public health. So problem is fast food consumption on public health, particularly among children and adolescents. Studies have linked the rise in fast food consumption to higher rates of obesity, diabetes, and other diet-related health issues. So there is diet-related health issues due to consumption of fast food. Okay. To address this, many governments have implemented policies to limit the advertising of unhealthy foods to children. They want to limit the advertising of unhealthy foods to children. Which of the following would weaken the argument that limiting food advertisement to children can improve public health? Now we have to find that particular option that says advertisement doesn't matter. Okay. Now, research show that children are more likely to make healthier food choices when they are involved in food preparation at home. Next one says, health expert argue that a balanced diet and regular physical activities are more important factors in preventing obesity than food advertisement alone. C says, studies have shown that limiting food advertisement to children has been successful in other countries at improving their overall diet. D says, children who watch more television are also more likely to engage in sedentary behavior such as playing video games. Many children eat fast food regardless of advertising because of the convenience and affordability of these meals. Now, what is the problem here? Problem is higher rates of obesity, diabetes, other diet-related health issues. First of all, understand this. And they are saying rise in fast food consumption. They are blaming it on rise in fast food consumption. Okay. Higher rate of obesity, diabetes, other diet-related issue. And to address this, they are saying it is because of fast food consumption. Now tell me something. If you are not consuming fast food, okay, or maybe consuming fast food someday or the other, and you are following sedentary lifestyle, right? You are following sedentary lifestyle. You are not doing any physical work. You are not doing any physical activity. You will get obese. And if you are eating fast food, but you are, very active, you have an active lifestyle, there are chances that you might not get obese. You understand this thing, right? So we have to weaken the claim. We have to weaken the argument that limiting fast food advertisement to children can improve public health. First, what for the first one was saying that children are more likely to make healthier food choices when they're involved in food preparation. So this is not related to diet. This is not related to advertisement. This is just healthy food choices, preparation at home. No. Second, health experts argue that balanced diet, regular physical activity are more important factor than preventing obesity than fast food advertising alone. So they are somehow negating the fast food advertisement. They are saying that fast food advertising is not the sole reason, like banning fast food advertising will not be the sole thing that you can prevent obesity with. It would also require balanced diet and regular physical activity. Third one says studies are showing that limiting food advertisement to children has been successful. So this is not weakening the argument, this is even strengthening the argument. Okay, so we have to find that the one that weakens the argument. Next one is saying children who watch more television, they are also more likely to engage in sedentary behavior. So this is also not weakening the claim that ban fast food advertisement. If we look at E, many children eat fast food regardless of advertising because of convenience and affordability. Now, convenience and affordability, this thing, it is not convenient and see, fast food is not like it is convenient and affordable to everyone. This is a very generalized statement. It is too general. It is not discussing anything about diet. It is not discussing the issue that is being raised here. They're just talking about, specifying about children. Here, they are talking about children as well as adolescent. So we are discussing here only about many children. So that is why we'll have to eliminate this, not addressing the core issue, the core of this paragraph. Did you understand? If we look at B, health experts. So they are health experts. Okay, so we have to understand what they are saying. We have to listen to them. Health experts argue that balanced diet and regular physical activity, they are more important factors in preventing obesity rather than banning fast food advertisement alone. So you cannot just ban this food advertising alone and then expect lower obesity rates. If children are not doing anything, if they are following sedentary lifestyle, then obesity problem will not be reduced. So this particular thing, this particular argument, option B, this is the one that is weakening the claim. Is this clear? Because yes, B and E sounds very similar. They seem very close. Just the catch is that E is addressing children. Here we are addressing children as well as adolescents. Is this clear? Why we have marked option B and not option E? This is important. Next one. This is a very small question, should be very easy, conclusion based. Let's read this. Oliver has done great work in neurology, but his paper mixes too much of his personal life with his research. So this person is a researcher. Inclusion of so many anecdotes make it less objective, so the scientific community doesn't see it as rigorous study. Because this person has done a great work in neurology, but when he publishes research paper, this person has mixed too much of his personal life. So anecdotes from personal life make it less objective for the scientific research. Okay, so research community doesn't see it as rigorous research rather than just a biography sort of. Okay, so option A. Now we have to find which one of the following conclusions can be drawn. Option A says scientific community values objectivity more than personal storytelling in the research papers. They are not saying in general, but in research paper. Second, Oliver's lack of scientific skill prevents his work from being taken seriously. No. First, this first line, Oliver has done great work in neurology, so there is no lack of scientific skill. See, anecdotes are never appropriate in any kind of scientific writing. Never appropriate any kind of scientific writing, extreme. So we are ruling this out. D says personal experience always weaken the quality of academic research. No, again, extreme. The scientific community is biased against unconventional style of research. No, they have simply said scientific community doesn't see it as a rigorous study. Okay, why? Because it is a research paper. So in a research paper, you are supposed to be telling about your research rather than telling about yourself. So what option A says, scientific community values objectivity more than personal storytelling in a research paper, not generally, but in a research paper. If you are publishing a research paper, people would expect to learn more about your research, not about you. Is this clear? Option A. Other options are extreme, and yes, one is scientific community is biased against unconventional style of research. No, it is not biased, but just because it is a research paper, so it is expected from him to show the research. Now, this is a very interesting question, and these kind of question Sir has covered in, there is a playlist, Let's Nail NMAT 2024. Something, sorry. Do watch this. Okay. So we have discussed various questions like this, fact-based. This is a different kind of questions. Let's see if you can solve it. Okay, I'll explain. Okay. Fact 1. It says town is hosting a 3-day music festival. There is a 3-day music festival which will feature a rock band show by local artists for the very first time. Okay. Fact 2 says 2,000 tickets have been sold for the show. Fact 3 says ticket sale will end next Monday. Fact 4 says organizing committee has been working for past 10 weeks to organize this event. If the above statements are fact, which of the statements below must also be fact? So means these facts are given to us. So we have to find the other statements which are somewhat related to these facts and which we can figure out from these facts. Fact is something that is true, not assuming, not inferring anything. Fact is fact. Fact has to be true. Okay. First one says a few hundred seats will remain empty during the festival. For a few hundred seats will remain empty. What is the reason? Why will they remain empty? No information is given to us from like in these four facts. So we cannot, we will be assuming this. This cannot be a fact. Understand this very properly, okay? Few hundred seats will remain empty during the festival. This cannot be a fact. It will be an assumption from us. Okay? Inference, not assumption or assuming. We are not, it is not given to us, so we cannot say for sure. Second says family members of the rock band performers will be present at the festival. We are given information about rock band show by local artists. So members of the band, definitely they have to come. Family members, no information is given. Okay, again, we would be assuming on our own that family members would be there. So no. Fact 1, 2, 3, 4 are silent. So this cannot be a fact. Third one, since the preparation started 10 weeks ago, all tickets will be sold by Monday. Ticket sale will end next Monday, but will tickets be sold by Monday or not? This is also not certain. They have not mentioned anything certainly regarding all the tickets being sold by Monday. Quite possible that few tickets are left. Not all tickets are sold. So this again cannot be a fact. So what out of these is fact? What is the correct answer? Option E, none of them. Is this particular question clear? Fact is something which you can say for sure. Okay. So let's say if it was 2000 tickets have been sold for the show. So if there was another fact that at least 2000 people will be there to, at least 2000 people will be there in audience, then we could have said that it is a fact because it is clearly mentioned that 2000 tickets have been sold. Okay. Is this clear? Okay, so this was all for the NMAT CR. Now, if you have, if you found these questions difficult or if you have any confusion in this, please solve the critical reasoning test. You all have access to it. Okay, don't, you just don't waste your resources, whatever you have, because we have discussed inference-based questions, assumption-based questions, conclusion, weakening argument, strong argument. There is nothing new what is being asked. Okay, course of action, everything is being discussed there. Every sort of question is being given there. Okay, so practice that, complete that test, and if you have gotten wrong answers here, try to complete the test, and try to solve these questions again. So if you have any doubt, do let me know and please solve your practice sheet. Thank you for attending the class. I'll see you in the next one. Bye and all the very best for your exams.